Yo, 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 hit 'em high, hit 'em low. It's the No Bull Just Ball podcast with your boy Nick Hughes alongside Julian. How's it going, sir?
It's going great. Football's done, baseball's around the corner, basketball's starting to heat up. It's a decent time.
I know pitchers and catchers reported the Super Bowl was a fun one.
It's a fun
Uh,
one for the
yeah,
ages.
yeah,
Wrestling's on a good little roll right now.
I know. There's a lot of good stuff happening, and baseball's back. Like
Baseball's
that's
back. World Classics around the corner. I am loving it.
Yeah, we're gonna do a World Classic episode soon. So today this is actually our first episode of 2023. So an idea I had is we're gonna play a little game. We're gonna go team by team, randomized order, and we're gonna talk, three words or less, all right, to describe what their 2023 will be. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So it looks like the first team is the Los Angeles Dodgers. Starting hot here. All right. Um, I'm gonna go out on a limb, and the three words I have first are they are asleep.
Okay.
Uh, this is a team that is, they've locked down the division consistently, with the exception of that little hiccup last year with the Giants winning the division. But, the Dodgers always sort of felt like the real threat there. Um, this year, they fell asleep at the wheel.
Yeah.
The Padres, it feels like, we'll do a real like divisional preview and stuff, but it felt like the Padres caught them, at least on paper, if not surpassed them. And I think they're very much asleep. They don't
Yeah,
want to touch
that
that.
makes sense because they've been oddly quiet, which is not something you get normally been getting out of this little Dodger era that we've had.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, so three words. What do you got for the Dodgers?
Second round exit. It's just
Ooh,
that sums up what the Dodgers are, and I feel like we're just in for another one with all the teams in the NL getting better. Dodgers are going to probably maybe win their division. Let's see how San Diego is looking. If they win their division, they're just going to lose in divisional series. That's just it for me.
okay. I mean, that's fair. That is all around fair. I can be okay with that. So the next team we have sort of a full spectrum here. The Washington Nationals.
Okay.
Uh, all right. Do you have something for that one or
I do, but all right. Could care less.
could care less? I like that. I went first team sold.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
was
right.
my like, they're definitely not a fun watch.
Yeah. They're
Uh a lot of prospects. Did you realize how many lefty hitting prospects they have?
No, because I again could care less.
That's fair.
It's not even like they have a generational type talent to make me want to watch a Nationals
Yeah,
game.
that's fair. I feel like one of the prospects is gonna be, but like, yeah, no, it's still too far away. Half of them have not made it to the major leagues yet, so
Yeah.
that's fair.
So it's gonna be one of those. It's gonna be those early national years again,
That's
where
yeah,
we're just not gonna care.
yeah, yeah, that's fair. Um, Fair enough. All right, so this next team is going to be the Kansas City Royals.
All right.
Okay. I'll take this one first. I'm going to say definitely trending upwards. Okay.
All right.
Without giving too much away ahead of us eventually doing a, sort of divisional, preview and prediction show. I think the Kansas City Royals could sneakily be the third best team in the AL Central. It's been a historically weak division, at least over the last 5 years. I think between Twins, Guardians, and White Sox, one of them will, hiccup a little bit. And the Kansas City Royals, I love what Bobby Witt Jr. is.
Mhm.
Salvador Perez still being the heart and soul of that team. Another Zach Greinke year with them. They got some good young pitchers. The catcher, who's the catcher that they moved out to the outfield? Casave's still there. Uh,
Yeah. Kyle Isbell. They have Kyle in the outfield. They had Kyle Isbell and Michael Taylor.
No,
Um,
Michael Taylor's a twin now. But
yeah.
it's
Look, I was looking at the roster from last year.
gotcha. No. They have the uh what's his name? The catching prospect. They had to move him to the outfield. Mendez? Was it Mendez?
Uh,
Eh, it's all
Desi,
right. Um,
Alberto, right?
no, not Alberto Mondesi. He's with the Red Sox now too. It's all right. It's gonna come to me.
Yeah.
It's gonna come to me. We're gonna move on here. All right. So what are your three for the Royals?
Bobby Witt's world, and we're just living in it. That's it. To me, it's going to come down to him, and I think he's going to have just a crazy good season. To come up back up off that really good rookie year he had. I don't think he's gonna hit that. He had like a really tough, rough patch in the first 2 months of the season, and I don't think we're gonna get that right off of spring training. I think he's just gonna keep the ball going, and they're gonna go as far as there as Bobby Witt's gonna take them.
I love that. I really do love that. I was talking about MJ Melendez was who I was looking for there.
Melendez, yeah,
No, I said Mendez, but I was
you're
close.
you're close. You're missing an
Yeah,
L.
yeah, something in there.
All right, can
All
see.
right. So up next we have the Detroit Tigers staying in that division. You
Okay.
want to take this one?
Um, fourth place incoming.
Ooh, okay. All right. I like that.
I don't know. The Tigers are a weird team where like last year we didn't know what they'd be, and I still don't know what they're gonna be because we thought they'd make the jump last year with all the young kids. They could still do it this year.
Yeah.
Weak division. Maybe they're fourth place. Maybe
I
they're
mean,
fifth. I don't know.
yeah.
It's gonna be a tough.
It's
The
yeah,
Central is such a tough thing to sell anybody on.
yeah, for sure. It's a weird. You can sell me on every team in the Central, being in first place and being in last, and I would buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, okay, I went Miggy farewell tour.
Ooh, I like that.
Farewell, farewell
Yeah.
being one word. Miggy farewell tour. This is. I feel like this has to be it. This is the final year of that massive contract for him. I at this point with what his body is, I can't see him totally, uh, getting the love. Or getting another contract, after this. Uh, it's a weird one because I really Mickey's one of those I would love to see him on a contender in the final year,
Yeah, but
but also do I don't know that I want to see Miguel Cabrera get traded unless very specifically the Marlins make like an incredible leap and
and
like he gets traded back to the Marlins, halfway through the year to be their like DH, and sort of run the table for him. But I otherwise he's staying put and just getting his flowers all year.
yeah, no, he's definitely one of those talents that I feel like Albert deserved more of a farewell tour than he got, but Albert still got his flowers. I think Miggy's in one that he's going to get his flowers everywhere he goes.
I hope so. I really do hope so. All right, so next we're gonna go Texas Rangers. Do you want to kick this one off?
Yeah, let me think of one.
All right, I got three ready if you want it. Mine
Go,
was a
you use one of yours then. Let me think.
all right, mine was a question. Are they good? Question mark. Like I still don't know if I believe they're a good ball club. Um, it's weird. In the
Yeah,
past, I feel like they spent a lot of money on pitching this year between Jacob DeGrom, but now he's hurt. They got Andrew Heaney. I feel like they picked up someone else this offseason. Theoretically, you're an injury away from seeing Jack Leiter make his major league debut, Kamara Rocker. So it feels like they have some things, pitching wise, where they never have. Last year, they spent the money on Corey Seager and Marcus Semien. Both had down years, though. Adelise Garcia, I like a lot. But for some reason, I can't commit to this idea that they're suddenly good.
yeah,
It's an odd one. I think I want them to be, but I still don't know that I believe it. It's very weird for me. I'm in a weird spot with the Rangers. So that's hence the are they good?
yeah. Mine's pretty similar that I thought about one. Um, the three words I'm gonna have is please pay off.
Hmm.
Because all the bags that they've thrown out in the last 2 seasons, they're praying to God that DeGrom is not hurt severely
Yeah.
before spring training even like games start.
Yeah.
Their two big bags, Simeon and
Seer.
Eager, both shit the bed last year.
Yeah.
They're praying, hey, can you guys turn this around? We have 9 more years of this. So
Yeah.
and then yeah, so they're just hoping all of their big contracts can do something to probably be the third best team in this division.
Oh, that's so bad. I
Yeah,
hate that. It's a weird, and
to
this is
make
why I
the
asked the
wild card
question.
spot.
Like, I don't know. Like, I think if everything goes right, they can be better than the Mariners. Like, if everything goes right,
Yeah, I mean, on paper
I
they probably
think
do
with the
have a better.
talent they have,
On
like you
paper
got,
they do have a better roster, but I don't know that Seattle team.
it's so deep.
They
That's
just
the
play better and they're
yeah.
deeper.
Yeah, that's the thing is it's star, it's star power versus depth essentially when
Yeah,
you look at those two teams. All right. So moving on, we're gonna go Philadelphia Phillies on this next one. And my three words are inexplicably still underdogs.
I like that.
Uh, a team who just went to the World Series, then signed Trey Turner, are still almost unanimously considered the third best team in the division. Uh, and I mean, it's a testament to the division.
Yeah, because it's
It's a
one of
testament to what the other teams have done. But that's a tough pill for me to swallow, I'd say,
yeah.
is this understanding that I don't understand how, in any other division, a team who went to the World Series and then added Trey Turner would probably just unanimously get everyone's
We
vote
make a
as
lot
they're the guys. So I just, props to everyone else, but yeah.
Right, I'm gonna go with can we repeat?
Mm,
Because that's the big question. Is their division is loaded, like we've been touching on. But can they capture that like magic where their defense somehow got better throughout the year, and necessarily they don't have great defensive players. So it's just like, can that continue? Can we continue to mask all the deficiencies all throughout the field with Trey Turner now in short? I don't know what the Phillies defensively look like. They're going to be an all-star just lineup, but I don't know. Still don't know if that's going to cost them games or not.
yeah, I like that. I really do like that. Um, all right, the next thing I have here, uh, the Minnesota Twins. Huh. Okay, Minnesota Twins up next.
All
You
right.
want to go first on this one?
Yeah, I got it. I got mid amongst mid.
Ooh, love
It's
that.
just a mid division, a mid team, a mid roster. I don't think signing Carlos Correa. I mean, it's the same team from last year. It's
Yeah,
theoretically the same team. You can't really sell me on. I think that's maybe one of the few teams you can sell me on just being that middle of the pack team throughout the whole season. They're gonna have
yeah.
their ups. They're gonna have their down. They're gonna have lots of downs. They're gonna have lots of ups. At the end of the day, I still think they're not gonna be making the playoffs.
Oh, I can see that. I went moral victories matter.
I like the
And
M's that we used for it for Minnesota.
yeah, I really, I mean, this was I'm in that same boat with you. I didn't love the Minnesota offseason, but moral victories. You're the first team to successfully overpay a player to get him away from Steve Cohen
Yeah,
in Carlos Correa. That's a moral victory. Take that win.
yeah.
All right.
Buxton's gonna have some highlights. Moral
And
victory.
look, you know, you found the poorest man's Byron Buxton as his backup now with Michael Taylor.
Yeah.
Okay, so moral victory. Uh, if you can find a way to win the season series against the Yankees, despite, inevitably losing to them in the playoffs, um, that's a moral victory.
That
Take
is
that moral
that's
victory.
definitely a moral victory.
I mean, like this is a really, you gotta look for the wins where you can find them with the Twins. Unfortunately, I don't see a lot of literal wins in their future, but I guess that's just me, but we shall see. So,
Yeah.
yeah, kind of unfortunate. I wanted to be more positive in this. Boston Red Sox. Ha. Okay, I'm gonna have to find a way to be positive here. Go
All
ahead,
right.
Julian. You want to go first on this?
We didn't. Oh, that's forwards. Never mind. Hold on. I was gonna say we didn't lose Devers, but
Didn't lose Devers.
didn't lose Devers.
Okay,
Again,
that's nice.
kind of gonna piggyback on the moral victories. They've been losing a lot of stars. So the fact that you didn't lose the star in your organization right now is a moral victory, and
Nice.
he's gonna be an all-star. So just gonna have to ride with that.
Yeah, I went Mom Loves Kike because my mom is a very big Kike Hernandez fan and really wants him to not be a Red Sox so she can just cheer him openly at Yankee Stadium.
It's a very
Um,
obscure player to be super high up on.
huh?
So that's a very obscure player to be super
Oh,
high
she
up.
just thinks he's very handsome. She just thinks he's a very
Fair.
good-looking man.
He is a
So
very good looking man.
yeah, I mean that's I liked I agree with you. I liked the Devers re-signing for them. Hated it for him.
Yeah.
Um, uh, I like Brian Bello, the young pitcher.
I mean, the one thing I am interested, and I'm probably going to watch a few more Red Sox games, is I want to see how the that Japanese kid coming over
Oh
is.
yeah, Yoshida.
Yeah, I want to see how he translates his game into the major leagues.
Yeah, I mean that could be fun.
It'll be a fun fifth place team, but still fun nonetheless.
I hope so. I look. I will go on record time and
Yeah,
again. The baseball is at its best when the Yankees and Red Sox are both good. It just feels
that
like maybe that might not be the thing for a little bit here.
yeah.
Up next we have the Toronto Blue Jays. And I will lead this one off, and this is going to be super duper unpopular. Uh, quickly losing interest.
Okay.
Um, this is a team that, I think I saw coming 3 years ago,
Yeah.
and they still haven't came. This is, I mean, they made the playoffs for a team, I think, almost across the board, with the exception of Alex. I think we all last year in our preseason predictions sort of had them as the team to win the AL East.
Yeah.
Last year should have been their
Should have
arrival.
done better.
It didn't happen this offseason. I don't feel like I saw. I mean, I like Dalton Varsho. I liked them picking up Kevin Kiermaier to be a defensive center fielder, but over the last few years, Kiermaier's hurt frequently. George Springer's hurt frequently.
Yeah.
I just, man, I feel like, you know, I feel like the year for them was last year. And now I'm worried that they sort of bend into mediocrity until they make some moves that unfortunately break up what we thought was going to be an exciting core.
Yeah. I feel yeah, for me, I have put it together. That it's the team that has everything to be successful. They just have to put everything together. It
Yeah,
just like some things aren't clicking for some players. They're like bad time. Maybe this is the year they can make that step. I'm especially looking at Vladdy to take another big step in his career this year.
yeah,
Um, Bo to do both things. Like they just need to just put everything together and create a solid team because they have the components for it.
Hmm. All right. I like that. I like that. I think you and I are on the opposite ends of the spectrum with it.
Yeah.
You're looking for the next step, and I'm saying I already took a step they weren't on, and I'm coming down now. I'm off the
Yeah.
high. Um, Next up, we have the San Francisco Giants.
Okay.
Uh, I cannot be positive with this one.
Yeah, this one's gonna be tough to be positive on.
I said hardest to watch, as in they will be my hardest team to watch. Uh, because I looked at that roster very hard and I could not find something that was going to make me happy.
Yeah.
I mean, Jock Peterson, Michael Conforto return.
Yay.
I I was at one point very big on Joey Bart behind the plate. Has not panned out the way I think Giants fans in particular would have liked it to as the successor to Buster Posey. Brandon Webb. I mean, that's like saying you're a Mets fan rooting for Jacob DeGrom in 2017 when they're losing a shit
Yeah.
ton while he's on the mound. It just, it's a hard watch.
Yeah. For me, it's looking up already. Is since they missed out on Korea, they have been looking up in the division standings since December. And that's what it's going to be for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. They're not enticing, and this might be a hot take. I think they might be the fourth place team.
if that's your hot take, I
I
would
think
argue.
Arizona is going to be a better team than them this year.
If that's your hot take, I'm going to be honest with you. I might have one hotter. They might be the worst team in the division this year. I think
You think
Colorado
Colorado
can
is
even
going
jump them.
to? Okay.
Theoretically, Colorado at least has some bats.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
that
only
was like, huh?
but only in Colorado.
Yeah, but still, that's 81. That's 81 more games of bats than the Giants
Yeah,
have. Like,
true.
that would, I just, uh, yeah, that's a tough. Woo, right on cue. This transitions so
Wow.
well. St. Louis Cardinals, which
Oh,
I
nice.
had listed as most fun to watch.
Nice.
My most fun team to watch in 2023 is the St. Louis Cardinals. I think their combination of young talent, veterans who still got it, Paul Goldschmidt, what a year last year, Nolan Arenado keeps being Nolan Arenado. Full year Tommy Edman is short is going to be fun. Dylan Carlson is a fun watch. If Tyler O'Neill can get back to what he was a couple years ago, Jack Flaherty, same thing. Like there's so much. Wilson Contreras is there. Like it's such a fun team.
It's
Uh,
definitely the biggest vibe I've felt out of the Cardinals in a few
yeah,
years.
it's just a fun I love Harrison Bader being on the Yankees, but him being a Cardinal is the only thing that is would have turned it up a notch slightly more for me. This is just a fun team. You're gonna enjoy watching their baseball games.
Yeah. See, you got them being better. I have mine as same old Cardinals, and I don't want that to be this because I have a very big respect for the Cardinal
Yeah,
organization. They're going to be the same thing. They're going to win a bunch of games. They're going to be very good, very entertaining. They're going to win their division. I don't see them making a big splash in the playoffs, so that's where I get, just same old Cardinals.
yeah, that's fair. That's yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping to be wrong because I wouldn't mind seeing a
It
more
would be
electric shaking up. I'm all for chaos in baseball
yeah,
playoffs, so I'm all for being wrong for this one.
yeah. Up next we have the Oakland Athletics. Oakland A's. What do we got for the Oakland A's?
Move to Vegas.
Ooh, okay. You think it gets decided? I think they're voting on it in January next year. So you're saying it's just foregone at this point.
Yeah, there because Oakland's not. I don't feel like Oakland's gonna budge when it comes to that stadium. Um, there's really nothing to watch there, but to just be like, hey, maybe they'll be fun in Vegas.
Yeah,
that's really it for them. They don't really have any big talent to really sell off this year.
So wait, you almost
Oh,
took it right out of my thing.
all right.
I have two trades left.
Okay.
They have two conceivable trades left in terms of moving guys who hopefully for their sake would have big seasons with some controllability left afterwards that they could sell off, being Ramon Laureano as a guy who can, at a worst case scenario, be a fourth outfielder for a contender. Best
Yeah.
case scenario, slot in and be, really a center fielder, arm for right field, can play left for a team like the Yankees. So there's some flexibility there. And then the other guy is Paul Blackburn, who,
Hmm.
Cole Irvin got moved not that long ago to the Baltimore Orioles. So Paul Blackburn, though, is the remaining sort of starter who's he was an all-star last year for the A's. If he gets off to a similarly good start, I could see, with 2 years of control, I think, remaining after this year, the A's trying to just sell high, get whatever's left, and the reason I bring it up is now that means the prospects you got have to materialize
Yeah.
because you really don't have anything left to trade.
Yeah.
If it's not the guys you got, then it's not going to happen
It's
for
gonna
a,
be ugly in Vegas.
yeah. I mean, there's nothing about Las Vegas that becomes attractive anymore. I couldn't see a situation where if one of those young guys this year doesn't, start to materialize,
Yeah.
I don't see a situation where the city of Las Vegas would even want that team, quite frankly.
They're gonna
All
want a team.
right. Huh?
Sad. They're gonna want a team.
Oh yeah, but just maybe not the team that has the least going on. Okay, Chicago Cubs. Okay. So for the Cubbies, I have destined for 500.
Okay.
This is a very 81 and 81 team. I like them adding Dansby Swanson.
Yeah.
Jameson Tyone is a cool ad. Cody Bellinger is a cool ad. But this is now the worst time to be a Central team with every team in the league facing each other. You have
Yeah.
less games to beat up on the Reds and Pirates. Now you kind of have to face the music for being, in the worst divisions in baseball, whether it be the NL Central or AL Central. And the Cubs are going to be victims of it, I think, more than potentially any other theoretical contender. I
Okay.
think last year, if they really went on a run and were able to beat the crap out of the Pirates and Reds for 16 games a year, is what the old schedule entailed. It's very different than what next year is going to be when they have more games against teams in the NL East and NL East and NL West that are juggernauts, and then on top of it, now you're playing all of the best teams in the American League a lot too. I think it's not going to bode well for the Cubs in particular.
All right. So I got Hey Suzuki.
That's
I think
pretty. I like that.
I'm pretty high up on. I think he's going to have a very, very good season this year. Second year in the league. He's finally going to get acclimated. I think he's not going to be as hurt as he was last year. Um, I'm really high up that he can probably make them better than a little 500. I have them around 500. I don't have them at or below. Like I think they're going to be the second best team in the division. Um, and I think we could probably see Seiya going on a little MVP run. Not saying he wins it,
Ooh,
but definitely in the conversation.
I like
I
that.
think he's going to have a good year.
God, you're so optimistic. I love that about you. Never change.
I try.
Never change. So for me, I went sorry, I was already looking at the next thing here. I have
Okay.
the Pittsburgh Pirates next. And for
Okay.
the Pittsburgh Pirates, I said almost halfway there.
Okay.
I like what I'm seeing. And literally, I think they have half of a contending rotation with Roansy Contreras, who I like his stuff a lot. Mitch Keller started to finally become a guy. Then, uh, in terms of position players, I really, really, really love Brian Hayes. He's the
Yeah.
first player the franchise has ever locked up long term, so they like him a lot too. O'Neal Cruz, a full season of him is going to be fun. Like a lot, I'm concerned that eventually he might have to transition to the outfield, but we shall see. But I feel like they're starting up. Jack Sawinski's a lot of fun. Last year, I think it was 19 home run guy. He's probably gonna, up that a little bit.
Yeah.
So the pieces are starting to be there. It's a good mix of, veterans on 1 year contracts who are going to get traded. But, I can start to see the vision a little bit, which is more than I can say for the Pirates since the last time Andrew McCutchen was there.
Yeah.
Now he's back. So, almost halfway there.
I'm going fun but bad.
Hmm.
Is I think they're still going to be a below
Oh,
500 team.
okay.
They're still missing a lot, and I'm not big on any of their pitchers at the moment. But as we all know, I am a big on O'Neal Cruz.
Yeah.
I love that man. I'm going to watch a lot of Pirates games now that I'm back on the East Coast. I'm going to try to go to a few Pirates games,
Love it.
solely for O'Neal Cruz. I think he's going to have a phenomenal season, first full year in the bigs. Key Brian Hayes, I think, is going to have a big year. Let's see how long Brian Reynolds stays on the team. I think that's really going to be the big factor here. They're going to be a fun team, but they're not going to be that good. I feel like they're going to lose a lot of close games this
Fair
year.
enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. So our next team is the Chicago White Sox.
All right. You want
Uh,
to go first?
yeah, I have it ready.
Yeah.
Fool me once.
Okay.
Fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me twice. I won't. You won't get fooled again. Um, I man, I really, I think in my heart of hearts, I wanted to be oh, we finally got rid of Tony La Russa, but man, do I not believe it. Dear God. I mean, looking at the roster, I feel like I like the people more than I like their output. Love Luis Robert. I cannot convince myself that him or Eloy Jimenez are going to be healthy.
Yeah.
Andrew Benintendi's a fun signing, very good at what he does, but what he does is not what the White Sox needed, which was a power bat in left field.
Yeah.
Yoan Moncada never materialized, and it's so disappointing. Into what I think so many people in baseball thought he could be. Tim Anderson is always fun, but at this point, I almost wonder, is it an inevitability that he gets traded to a team who needs a shortstop at the deadline,
Yeah.
with a year left, team control after this? Um, I just, man, I couldn't convince myself. Knowing that this is essentially the same team plus Andrew Benintendi, I could not convince myself that this is going to be. And they lost Jose Abreu.
Yeah.
They
Jose
needed
Abreu.
power and lost their best power hitter.
That's going to hurt them a lot. Um, Me and you are on complete opposite sides of this one.
Ooh.
I say no more Tony.
Mm.
I genuinely think that Tony La Russa was the problem with that team, and I still to this day, I'm hoping that Pedro Grefol, I'm hoping he's the thing that can finally put it all together. And then this is the White Sox team that we've been saying is going to run the division for a while. And I think they're going to capitalize on the division being bad. Um, but it's a lot of questions. But I know everybody in that locker room is happy that old man La Russa is gone because I know I am.
Yeah, it's a weird one. I mean, you never root for someone to lose their job. It
Oh
just
no,
was,
you root for Tony La Russa because he ruined a lot of things that was good
yeah,
when he
it
was
was
on the way.
unfortunate. It was very unfortunate. And yeah, I don't know. Like, I almost worry that with him being gone, they're out of scapegoats, and that's my fear.
Yeah,
I think that was my thing there. Um, yeah, at least if he was still there and things don't go well, you at least have the fire him midway through the season move.
yeah.
And that was just not happening. Ooh, This is a fun one. Baltimore Orioles. Uh,
All right, I
I
got one.
go ahead.
I got it. Keep it rolling.
I love it. Okay.
Just the momentum from last year, you felt it. You quite couldn't complete it, but I feel like the momentum is going to be a similar situation. They're going to be this year's Seattle Mariners, where they got hot, they have a good young team. It's going to roll directly into this season, and they're going to be a lot better, a lot more competitive.
I like that. I went game or less. And
Okay.
what I mean by that is game or less separates them from the playoffs in 2023.
Okay.
They're not in, but
But
they will not be in on the like it'll be the last day or two of the regular season
yeah.
when we realize that the Baltimore Orioles didn't make it. I feel this is a team who the thing that has sort of kind of for as bad as the Orioles have been for a little bit, the thing that kind of registers in the back of my mind is now that this is starting to piece together,
Yeah.
right? The fact that Adley Rushman last year, once he came up for stretches and his rookie season, was the best catcher in baseball.
Yeah. Is an
Uh,
immediate.
what I've seen of Gunnar Henderson, who's going to play some short, some third, I think ultimately he's going to have to settle into that third base role. Uh, I think he is a for real hitter from the left-handed side
Yeah.
in Major League Baseball, and it helps him that he's pulling now towards the side of Camden Yards that didn't get that ridiculous remodel. They didn't fix that right field. He can still rip one over that. Um, Cedric Mullins is no longer considered a trade candidate. He's now considered a centerpiece.
Yeah.
And the thing that keeps, I was saying, triggering in the back of my head, this is a team once upon a time, mid 2010s, was spending money. Same ownership is there, same
Yeah.
front office is there. So it's just they were waiting for this opportunity. Uh, they're my sneaky pick in the middle of the year at the All-Star break to take a run at Maryland native Brian Reynolds to complete that outfield trio with Austin Hayes and Cedric Mullins.
I like that. I like
And
that.
then, they can throw like an Acuna-esque deal. He's already 27, 28, whatever it is. You
Yeah.
throw 5, 6 years at him, 17, 18 a year. You're definitely getting a deal versus what he'd get on the open market in a couple of years if he keeps it up. But you keep him, Hayes, and Mullins in that outfield together.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
Oh my God. And then you have Gunnar Henderson develop. Ramon Arias, I love a lot. Jorge Mateo is a lot of fun. They added Adam Frazier, Ryan. Now, like it's such a good core. Like you know, and that game or less, and then next year is the year that
Okay.
I
So
think
next year.
could man, I could tip some scales next year.
Yeah.
Just
No, I
so
really like this team. This team's going to be really fun to watch, and definitely going to be tuning into every single Yankee Orioles game this year
for sure.
compared to last year.
Yeah, I like that. The New York Mets.
All right, mine is I'm going to take a page out of Cody Rhodes.
Uh,
Finish the story.
ooh, very nice, very nice, very nice.
They got close last year. Really phenomenal story, phenomenal season. They went out, spent the big money, uh, locked in some of their guys long term. They got to lock in Pete, but this is the year. It's it's World Series or bust for them. They put themselves in the position in the last like next this year, next season. They got to do it. They got to go far. They got to make a deep run. And like Cody Rhodes told Sammy, finish it, finish the
Yeah,
story.
yeah. I went a slightly different route.
Okay,
I went on paper champs.
okay,
And again, I guess it's kind of in the same vein of,
yeah,
on paper, this is the best team in baseball.
yeah,
I think their only rival would be the San Diego Padres in terms of just an on paper, like this is the squad. Um, I it's now become with the Mets. I need to see it to believe it.
yeah.
You had a pseudo MVP year last year from Francisco Lindor. You
Not even
had
just him.
Jacob
Pete
DeGrom.
Alonso had a hell of a year too.
I was going to say, uh, Alonso was incredible. You had Scherzer doing his thing, dealing with an oblique. I get that. Uh, um, freaking Diaz
Monster
was
year.
impeccable out of the closer role. You had so many things clicking. Still couldn't get the job done. This year, theoretically, you somehow got better. You lost who is considered widely when he's healthy to be the best pitcher in baseball, and
Yeah.
somehow might come away with a better rotation despite it. Um, you gotta finish, like you said, finish the job. But it's just for me until it isn't, it's on paper.
Yeah. I get it.
Uh, yeah. Up next, the Colorado Rockies. If I may lead this one,
Yeah, go ahead.
uh, another question.
Okay.
I asked the question with the Texas Rangers. This time it's a different question. What's the plan?
I feel like that's been the question of the Rockies organization.
I feel like I'm not a Rockies fan, but I can root for some Rockies, right? Last year they did the head scratching, like went out and signed Chris Bryant.
Yeah.
Um, I, you thought maybe they were going to try to spend some more money this year, a la what the Rangers did, but then they didn't. Uh, the only shortstop on their roster right now is Cole Tucker.
Yeah.
What's the plan? Like,
Uh to
what? Like, what is the thing that
like what's
like?
the goal for this season or
Like,
for the next few?
at least if you told me we were still tanking, I'd get it. Like,
Yeah.
but now it's not that because you also gave Ryan McMahon an extension into his like age 34, 35 season. Chris Bryant is there for what, 6 more seasons now?
Yeah.
Um, the hell are we doing?
They're probably going to extend CJ Crone.
Maybe, or is he like a trade candidate? Like I just
Yeah,
this
I
is the
don't
thing.
know.
I don't know what the future for any Rocky is. I don't know who is there to stay. I like Brendan Rodgers a lot at second base, but does he become trade fodder in a year? Like I don't get it.
Yeah.
And I want someone to help me get it. Maybe you can. Julian, do you know what the plan is?
I don't know the plan except for just to be good in Colorado because that's my three. No, it's my three words
Good
is
in Colorado.
only in Colorado.
Like that.
Because that's the only time that they can hit is when they're in Coors Field. So for you, they're just I don't know what they are. I don't know what they're trying to be. I don't know. Like you hit it on the nail. It's just a confusing team, and I don't know. That's always been my identification with the Rockies is what are we doing here? What's the plan? It's weird, man.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird one. Yeah. Another interesting one. Tampa Bay Rays.
All right, you want to take this one?
If I can, I would actually like to save mine because
Okay.
mine's gonna be uh kind of something, unless you don't got something right away.
Uh, can we win?
Ooh, okay.
They're gonna be the race. They're gonna be competitive. They're gonna be above 800 or above 500 team. Just can they everything? Can their young guys do something? Are they gonna be the Rays and just get bounced in the first round, bounce to the wild card? Um, they have to figure it out because the Cleveland series was good if you liked pitching matches, but they don't have an offense, and they need to build one, and they need those young kids to start hitting.
Okay, we went a very different route here.
Okay.
I have American League champions.
Oh wow, you got them going all the way.
Yeah. This is quite possibly the scariest I've seen the Rays in a very long time. When you realize last year they were an 87 win team with more injuries to key players like at a historic rate.
Yeah.
Uh, on top of it, this is the first time that the Tampa Bay Rays have a legitimate like starting rotation, and it's
Yeah, no,
not
I really
bullpen guys or guys who are theoretically just going to go five and get pulled for still the nastiest bullpen in baseball. Uh, then on top of where I disagree with you is you start looking at the lineup and you start realizing, okay, wait, on the infield, I really, really like the first and third thing with Yandy Diaz and Isaac Bruce. Uh, then I like Wander Franco and I like Brandon Lau. Then in the outfield, damn, I really like Randy Arozarena. I like
no,
Jose
yeah,
Sari. I like Manny Margot. I think, at the deadline, if they can pull a CJ Cron from Colorado to be their pop bet or something like that, to just be a DH or first base, something like that, man, I really think this might be the best team in the American League, if not the American League as a whole.
yeah.
Um, yeah, this was a weird one for me when I was looking at that roster, just realizing, wow, I love this roster a lot.
I really like the young kids. It's just last year,
It was a weird
I feel
year.
like they regressed from what they were. So like mine's more like just look. I'm not trying to be negative with
Yeah,
how
it's like, can they get back
like
to,
can they get back to
yeah.
what they were supposed to be?
See, for
Uh,
me, I think of it more as barring the worst case scenario.
yeah,
Um, I like them more than my Yankees. I like them more than the Blue Jays because they get the job done.
yeah.
Um, and then yeah, yeah,
They're gonna be a fun team to watch though.
yeah, definitely a fun team to watch. All right. The Los Angeles Angels. This one hits close to home.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, if I may,
Go ahead.
waited too long.
Yeah. That pretty
And
much sums it up.
that I think that lands on so many levels. The thing specifically I'm talking about, I hate to say it, the return for Shohei Ohtani in particular at an all-star deadline now, or a trade deadline after the all-star break, for a couple months rental of Shohei Ohtani, where, one we've talked about before, um, they, he has to stay healthy.
Yeah. Yes, I have. Yeah.
Uh, this is, they should have sold. I'm so sorry. You find the deal.
Yeah. I've been saying this
We
since
are
last
a
year.
we are a Shohei injury away from the Angels just having to sit there and watch him walk in the offseason, getting nothing back for it except like a freaking draft pick.
Yeah.
Um, they waited too long, man. This
Yeah.
is not a winnable division for them. Uh, not even close. And it's back to the bottom.
That's,
Excuse me. Retool, rebuild, figure it out. But this is an Angels team that is not it.
yeah.
And I'm struggling a lot to understand why they did not pull the trigger.
I've been saying this since the last trade deadline. It should have happened last trade deadline to maximize what you can get out of him. Um, my three, all right, blow it up. It's not
Ooh,
working. It hasn't been working. Blow it up. You got to do what's best for the team and blow it up. Not
can
just
I?
Otani, anything you can get for anybody.
Oh, agreed. But that becomes a different thing for me. It's like what is there to blow up?
Oh,
Because
people give up stuff for Mike Trout.
yeah, but like Mike Trout has been no
Especially
Trout.
if he's not injured at all throughout the year, showing these Mike Trout things.
For me,
They
Mike Trout is
decided.
more just the will he want to go?
I don't think he has a no trade. I don't think he does.
Oh,
He have a no trade clause in his contract? I don't remember if he does
I
or
just
not.
assume every superstar does,
Yeah.
but
Um,
no.
yeah. No, he just it's time to call it the Mike Trout experiment, not experiment, but the era of trying to win with him. It's not working for whatever reason. It's just constant shooting in the foot, and it's time to blow it up. It's been time.
Yeah,
If the
that's
Shohei
fair.
trade didn't happen last trade deadline, it should have happened in the offseason.
That's fair. Up next, we're staying in California, the San Diego Padres. And my three words is now or never. The San Diego Padres have been a god-awful franchise
Yeah,
for pretty much forever, but at the very least, pretty much my entire life.
our entire
Uh,
life, yeah, because we didn't get to
yeah,
see prime Glenn.
we we did not see prime Tony Gwynn. The Adrian Gonzalez years were kind of cool. Uh, this is not a, Jake Peavy was fun.
Yeah,
Um, but
Houston
this
Street was
is,
fun to watch as a closer, but
yeah, this is not the franchise who was consistently be able to do this. They went all out.
yeah,
Easily, I think the best top four of a franchise, in baseball today is, I mean, that 1 through 4 in that lineup of Soto, Tatis, Bogarts, and Machado
yeah,
is the best in baseball. Um, Starters, they have three, yeah, right, three former aces.
mhm.
Okay. It's now or never. Josh Hader, best closer. You got it all. Yeah, it's now or never because this was the Dodgers, take a break year to avoid the luxury penalties. They're
They
going
took,
to come back with a fury next year.
yeah.
So it's kind of now or never. And Machado's opting in. So, like, it's now or never.
Mine is eyes on Tatis.
Ooh,
I feel like with everything going on, it's going to be a fun season for them. They're going to be a great team. When Tatis comes back, that's going to be the big story until he proves that, hey, I'm not going to be a distraction to this team. I feel like that's going to be the bigger story throughout most of the season. Obviously, Manny opting out is going to be a big one, but I feel like once they start winning, people are really going to forget about that. Um, but the Tatis, once he comes back, it's going to be like, okay, show us why you were the generational superstar that we thought you were going to be.
yeah.
And it's immediately going to be instant pressure on the kid. And I think he's going to step up. But again, let's see now that all eyes are on him.
I will say, I think it's a weird thing where if he's the fourth best player on that team,
It's a perfect scenario for him.
you know, I
Yeah.
it's I mean, you're expecting huge things out of Manny Machado, Juan Soto, Xander Bogaerts just got paid.
Yeah.
So it's like Tatis might be the fourth most important player there, and that is I agree with you, best situation.
Yeah.
The next team we have is the Miami Marlins. A little bit of a different end of the spectrum. And my three words for the Miami Marlins is they hate it here. Hate it here. They hate the division they're in.
Yeah. It's a really,
Uh, if they were in the NL Central, we'd be talking about them being a contender.
yeah.
If they were in the NL West, they'd be what the Padres were a couple of years ago, like the exciting upstart team. If they were in any of the American League divisions, they'd be the Blue Jays or the Mariners. That big fun team. They hate where they are,
Yeah.
and they like maybe they get the benefit of the uh not having to play the other teams in the NL East. but it's not going to do them any favors in the standings regardless. It sucks for them, man. It really does. I'm so sorry for the Marlin fan.
Yeah, it's gonna the guy, the single guy.
Uh, you know the one.
Mine is Smooth Jazz Show. Because we saw Jazz going on a meteoric rise last season, and the injury really derailed him. I feel like this is the year he's really going to take the league by storm and just
So
be. It starts with MLB the Show cover, then it's going to be All Star Game. He's going to be that guy that a lot of people are going to gravitate to this season. A lot of jerseys are going to be sold, especially now that they're going to be bringing back the teal this year as an alternative. Um, I think it's just he's going to be the superstar that everyone thought he was going to be last year, and he's going to be a fun watch, but they're not going to be able to do much just because of the division, and it's really sad.
yeah, that's unfortunate. So the next thing we have here is the Houston Astros.
All right.
And I don't know. Uh my three words, quite frankly, won't win division.
Ooh, interesting.
I think it's gonna have to happen eventually. And it's weird because I love their rotation.
Yeah.
Um, I'm a little concerned that they still haven't been able to address two very key positions that they very much needed upgrades at in center field and catcher. Um, they have a lot of good young guys. Uh, Altuve is getting older though, second base. He's also approaching, I think, 2 years left on his contract.
Yeah.
Bregman, same deal. Has not been the Alex Bregman that, at one point we thought was going to be the future of baseball. Jeremy Pena was a fun story last year. I'm scared a little bit of a sophomore slump for him.
Mhm.
Kyle Tucker, Jordan Alvarez are going to be Kyle Tucker and Jordan Alvarez. I think they're still going to be very good players. I still think this is a playoff bound team. I just am concerned now with, we talked about the Rangers already. We don't really believe in the A's or Angels, but there's another team in this division in the Seattle Mariners who
Yeah.
I I'm looking up and down and saying this is a roster. So
I got complete honestly opposite of you. I have back to back.
mm,
I'm very high
okay.
up on the roster. I think they got better with Jose Abreu, hitting wise, and that's kind of scary to think about because they
Yeah,
were already a deadly lineup. Their pitching, I think the young pitchers are going to take that step. I I feel like Verlander is going to be like a subtraction or addition by subtraction with them, whereas like now those kids are going to be like, okay, we're the guys. He taught us everything that we need to know. We are ready. Step into the spotlight and be the first team to repeat in 20 something years. I don't know if I have them winning the World Series, but I definitely have them going to the World Series.
solid. That's definitely solid. All right. So the next team we have is the Milwaukee Brewers. And this is an interesting one because I'm curious to see where you go with this.
Um,
You want me to go first here?
yeah, go first because I'm trying to think of something.
Okay. So my three words are Woodruff traded first.
Okay.
That will be the Milwaukee Brewers officially waving the white flag. I think Corbin Burns being the first guy to get moved is too, as
Yeah.
arguably one of the best pitchers in baseball over the last few years. Him being the first guy to sort of get panned off is a little too jaw dropping, but I believe he will soon follow, at least by the time the offseason rolls around next year. I think this is a weird spot for the Brewers. They tried to retool a little bit. I don't believe in the offense. Jesse Winker's a fun ad, I guess, for a year. He'll take some pressure off of Christian Yelich. Um, I just, you know, I don't like this. I don't like this team.
Yeah.
The starting rotation is still very good, still one of the best in baseball. The bullpen is not anymore outside of Devin Williams. Um, and I think the way they sort of by the deadline wave the white flag and say, this is the Cardinals division, the Cubs got next, the Pirates are on the rise, and Cincinnati exists.
Yeah.
Is Brandon Woodruff will be the first member of that sort of core rotation traded for a boatload of prospects.
All right. So me and you were going. I had the same type of training. I was just trying to think of a good pun. Got one.
Mhm.
I have all tapped out.
Mhm.
Um, I
Like
think,
that.
yeah,
It's a beer joke.
there it is.
There it is.
Um, I think this has run its course. They kind of missed
Yeah.
their window. The thing that really sealed that for me was when I was scrolling through Twitter and I sent it to the group chat. Corbin Burns talking about his meeting the with his contract,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like that's not good signs for their future. Where
No.
you have your second best pitcher, which would probably be a an ace on any other roster, kind of just not happy with how you're viewing him. I can see a scenario where they're gonna have to try to cut some ends and try to get what they
It's a
can.
weird one because it's Milwaukee, so they're not going to pay these guys.
Yeah,
So it's like, okay, so for both Corbin Burns and Brandon Woodruff, they're now in their fourth year of team control. There's two left this year and next year. So all goes well. They run right through free agency and the Brewers try to win it all 2 years in a row. That's if all goes well.
yeah,
If at the slightest hint that this is not a team, and again, because of I really don't believe in this offense, it's just not there for me at all. Like,
yeah.
even if Christian Yelich goes back to being the MVP he was,
There's not really much around him.
there's nothing. You can't sell me on Jesse Winker and freaking Rowdy Telez.
Yeah.
It's just Willie Adamas.
Although Rowdy did help me a lot in fantasy last year.
Yeah, but it's not
Don't
enough.
call me on him. But it's not
It's
enough
not enough.
to make a winning team.
That's fair, but it's just I just I don't love it, and he's going to get moved. I do have some thoughts, but I mean that's for another day.
Yeah, we'll save that
Uh,
for the division.
yeah, I have some thoughts on where he's going, and Brewers fans will not be happy. Um, all right, the Arizona Diamondbacks. You touched on something earlier, so I'm just
Yeah.
going to
Uh,
piggyback off of that, if I may.
yeah,
I
that's fine.
went shocking playoff contender.
Yeah, I
Uh,
have to agree.
I think they're a team. We got to see the glimpse of the Orioles last year. So me saying, "Oh, they're a game away," or
Yeah.
one or less was I think 3 words for the Orioles. This is a team now where we're going to get the Oriole treatment from last year for the Diamondbacks. Obviously, you have the two top teams in this division.
Yeah.
When you look at it, is the Dodgers and the Padres. The Giants fell off. We talked about it. The Rockies are not you know, a real contender. The Diamondbacks have a very fun young team. They, they have veterans now in Madison Bumgarner, Evan Longoria, Christian Walker. I like. So they got some guys.
I love their
This is a
rotation.
huh?
I love their rotation.
Yeah, Zach Gallen is great. Merrill Kelly is a lot of fun. Yeah, I really feel like this is a team where we're going to be sitting here at the end of August, start of September, and looking at the standings and going,
They're 2 games out. Yeah.
yeah, it's like, wait, they're sitting between the freaking Dodgers on the playoffs, or they're sitting between, the Phillies or the Braves or the Mets or something like that in the playoffs. And you're going, what's going on? I don't know if they make it, but they're going to
Yeah.
be in contention till the end, and I love that.
Yeah. 100% agreeing with you. My 3 words is, again, I'm going to go a little pun: snakes bite back. I
Ooh,
think they're just going to
damn.
be a very tough out for teams. They're going to make some playoff hopes die during this run. I'm really high up on this Diamondbacks team.
I love that. All right, so the next team is the Seattle Mariners.
Okay. You
And
already touched on them. Did you want to go?
yeah, I would love to. I went, it's finally over. And this works in two ways. The playoff drought is over. That pressure is off. The team last year was able to accomplish something that, the Seattle Mariners organization has not been able to, despite, so many attempts,
Yeah.
right? So that part is over. In addition, I touched on it before. They knock off the Astros this year. This is the year. This is, I have to believe in something as
Yeah.
a cynical baseball fan. I have to believe it. Everybody got to believe in something. And if I don't believe in the Blue Jays, I have to believe in the Astros. As a baseball fan, I have to.
Yeah.
At some point, one of these young teams has to actually knock somebody off.
Yeah.
And the Astros have been a staple in that AOS since 2016, 20,
Yeah.
yeah,
2015.
2016.
2015
Yeah.
is the first year they made the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but they made that as
Yeah,
well.
like
But
winning.
2016, since
Yeah.
then, they've been the division winner. Uh, this is the year it has to be that the Mariners say, hey, we have the better roster. Theoretically, they have the prospect capital still to upgrade. What I
Make
think is
it.
their weakest spot is the left side of that infield at the deadline. I
Yeah.
touched on a guy in Tim Anderson if the White Sox are folding.
I forgot.
Uh, that's in,
Oh, my God.
there's enough of those pieces out there where, damn, we don't love JP Crawford right now, or uh let's check in and see, Nicky Lopez in Kansas City. Let's see what he's, doing at the deadline. There's teams out there that, have those pieces. Uh, I love the Seattle rotation.
Yeah.
I love their bullpen.
I love them signing Castillo to that long contract for them. That
Yeah.
was such a smart move for them to do.
And that's not even touching on Julio Rodriguez.
Yeah.
An absolute freaking, he's the next Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah.
He is a super duper star. Um, and I look at this team and I think they're maybe a year or two away from winning World Series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm high up on them too. I think they're going to be like a 90. I think they're going to be a 95 win team, 95 plus win. My thing is Lightning strikes J-Rod. I think it's just he's going to catch fire. I think he's going to be if in the top 3 of MVP going this year. He's just going to have a magical season. He's going to be the engine that sparks them to some type of run.
I like that. I like that a lot for them. Ooh, up next, the New York Yankees.
All right. Did you want to go first on this? Or you want to go second?
I mean, I guess I don't know. Are you going to be optimistic or pessimistic?
Well, in your view, it's pessimistic, but
Okay,
in
go
my
ahead.
view, it's bring the youth.
Ooh, okay.
That's where I'm going with the Yankees. They need somebody to step up that's not Judge, and it needs to be the young kids.
I like that.
Put them in positions. Boone needs to show that he can be that manager that they signed him again to be. They
Yeah,
brought him back. Have to put the young kids in position for them to succeed. Don't Glaber Torres them.
yeah.
Don't put them in positions where they're not going to be able to succeed, not going to be able to grow. Put them in positions that's going to complement them. I think if that's the key for the Yankees to win their division, is
Okay.
the young kids obviously staying healthy with everything going on with the pitching rotation. But I think the young kids in that lineup will be the difference between the Yankees being a wild card team or them winning the division.
I like that. Um, you went a lot more optimistic than I did.
Yeah.
Because despite the fact that I said a certain team would not win their division, I still have the Yankees' three words as being Astros win lull, as in Astros win LOL.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I this had the makings of the off season where I was sold. You start with Aaron Judge resigning, then you add Carlos Rodon. At the press conference, you say one more big move is coming. There's an obvious hole in left field. The Brian Reynolds thing, he requested the trade. Then you start looking at some of the guys who are still out there available potentially, and it just never happens. And then you start to think, okay, wait a minute. All right, DJ's been hurt. Donaldson is, going to be a glove, but we don't trust him to be a bat anymore. We're leaving a lot up to chance, either between IKF or those young kids at short. Man, do I not? Am I not in love with this?
Yeah.
Um,
I'm saying you gotta bring the youth, man. You gotta
I
bring.
just, I'm not in love. I wanted to be more in love with this team. This feels, and again, last year I wasn't in love with the team that went into the season, went on that crazy hot streak. I had the Yankees barely making the playoffs. Literally, when we did the
I think we
prediction
all
show,
did. I think the only
when we
one who
did the
had them
prediction
winning the
show,
division was Alex.
Alex convinced me to
Yeah.
put the Yankees as my third wild card team. I didn't even have them in the wild card originally. He convinced me to put them in. It feels like that, I guess, where I don't have faith. I still think they have a great rotation. Frankie Montas going down hurts. Uh, but I just, man, and I think they're gonna make the playoffs. But now
Yeah.
I look at it and go, all right, they're gonna make the playoffs, and we know all roads lead through the Astros. I think though, because of seeding this year, that road happens a little earlier, a little sooner rather than later, and Astros win low.
Did you
Yeah,
see Cashman, the little interview that he did in Chicago?
yep, we're entitled.
Yeah. And it's just like you're not doing anything.
Nope.
How can you expect Yankee? Like you know what Yankee fans are.
Yeah, I mean, I always say you feed you. They fed the propaganda
Yeah.
every year. They go out on the record and say, if we don't win the World Series, what was the point?
Yeah.
They're the reason we're like, you can't feed us yes,
Yeah.
we are fans
That's
are.
like you letting your child get away with everything in the house and then all of a sudden getting mad that he's doing the things you're allowing him.
No, I mean, if I like, if I really like dissect this, the Yankees have for forever. Yes, they're the winningest franchise in professional sports. All right. They are the guys, okay? And they feed the fan base,
Yeah.
despite the fact we haven't won since 2009, and before that, hadn't won since 2000. The entire time, they continue to feed the narrative. Uh, it's win or nothing.
Yeah.
It's the Ricky Bobby. If you're not first, you're last. They fed the narrative the entire time.
Yeah.
So you can't, all of your best players. Judge in his press conference literally said the phrase, I'm here to win a World Series. Anything else is a disappointment.
And that's the captain. It's
So
coming from.
what do you want? What do you want the fans to say?
I
Oh
was
no,
so
we're
confused
okay
when I
with
heard that.
mild improvements. No, that's
But
not.
I just think the key to the Yankees, they got that youth movement needs to take over. The youth movement needs to take over, and they got to show
Yeah,
the kid, they got to show what the kids got, and hopefully that's the thing that makes them competitive.
yeah, I like it. This next thing I have is the Cincinnati Reds.
Cincinnati Reds.
Kind of a different end of the spectrum again. I have Votto says goodbye.
Okay, me and you are both going on Votto vibes here.
Yes, but it is not in the way Mickey says goodbye because Votto still has another year under his contract for about $27 million,
Okay,
which he is not saying no to.
yeah,
And I think, in a sort of buyout sort of standpoint, I can see the Reds brass sort of eating a chunk of that salary to make some room for some young kids to come up and see what the hell they got to send Votto to a contender for the last, year and a half playoff push. He has been integral to the franchise, but the franchise has given nothing back in
Yeah.
terms of tangibly trying to put a team around him. It's time. I want to see Votto like contend. He's been objectively one of my favorite players in
Yeah,
baseball.
he definitely deserves it.
I want him to not be in Cincinnati anymore. This is a rare occasion where I'm okay with a franchise player sort of stepping away from the team he's always been on,
Yeah.
and it's time for Votto to get moved. And yeah, I don't know what the fit is, but it's going to be out there. I just don't know what it is yet.
For me, it's Votto's TikTok because that's the only way I'm going to pay attention to anything Cincinnati Reds related this year.
Okay.
Because I could care less about this team. Like I know I said that about the Nationals, but I'm sorry, you're not selling me on a lot here.
Yeah, that's that's fair.
I'll keep up through Joey's TikTok. That's it.
Yeah, that is fair. That is 100% fair. All right. So two teams remain, and we're gonna go with the other Ohio team. And that's the Cleveland Guardians. Uh, and mine is very straightforward and simple here.
All right.
Need an adult. Uh, they really need an adult in that room. Uh, who isn't Terry Francona?
I
Because
am.
at this point, he's been there so long, he's basically just like a light fixture.
Yeah.
Um, they need if your veteran signing for the year was Josh Bell, who's 29 years old, you need to get a for real adult. Um, there's no one on that roster who's 30 years old.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Um, I love what they did against the Yankees. As a baseball fan, I love it what they were last year.
Yeah.
Hated it as a Yankee fan. Love what they are. They need an adult in the room though, who can draw consistency out of that team. There's a reason when we talk about the Central, I very much meant what I said. This is a team who was fun and exciting last year and won the division. I could see them being a bottom of the division team though.
Yeah.
They need an adult
Yeah.
bad, and I pray that whether it be potentially a guy like a Joey Votto or somebody else, at the deadline that comes available, both on the pitching staff and also in that lineup every day, who can breed consistency and tell you what it's like to be, a big leaguer every day, not just for fun spurts. And they need it desperately.
Gotcha. For me, I'm going Rugrats Storm back. I just think everything with the Nickelodeon, SpongeBob, they're gonna be a good team, and I think they have the potential to just repeat exactly what they did last year. Is
Yeah.
come back, be fun, another year under us. Let's keep going. It's Terry's world, and we're just living in it. Um, they're going to be a fun team. It's between them and the White Sox. I haven't really decided which way I'm leaning for the division, but I think they're going to be in the playoff picture throughout the entire year. The young kids are going to get older, but I can also see them regressing because of their age and how young everybody is. But I do love the Josh Bell pickup. I think they're going to be a little bit better, though. If I'm going to be more positive in this, is they're definitely going to be a little bit more better.
All right. All right. All right. So by default, the very last team is the Atlanta Braves. You want to kick this thing off?
Yeah, I got Mets killer watch. Uh, I think beside the Padres, the biggest threat to the Mets is the Braves. They're going to be the thorn in every team in the NL East side all season. They're going to be just as good. Um, it's it's just going to be same old Braves. They're going to be just that good. They're going to piss people off, especially Mets fans. Um, it's going to be a close race.
Okay, I need to high five you on the camera real quick because I have written down as my three words, Mets gonna Met.
Okay.
I love that we both had the Mets tied in here. Yeah, I have Mets gonna Met and lose the division.
At the last week again.
Yep, 100%. Uh, the Atlanta Braves, I mean, we know what this Braves team is gonna look
Yeah,
like for the next like 5 years minimum.
5 6 years. This is going to be the team.
This is gonna be the same roster. You can argue most of them have not hit their peak yet.
Yeah, I would say honestly,
At
probably
least half of
60.
that team has
Yeah,
not
I would
peaked.
say at least 60% of that roster hasn't hit their peak yet.
So, I mean, you take the team that keeps winning, like just pulling the division out from under you,
Yeah,
and say, okay, I understand you got better. I understand you spent a lot of money, but the same team that pulled the rug out from under you last year
it's still here.
has all of their players getting better. Now you can make the argument that Dansby Swanson is going to be a huge hole to fill. They're going to let Vaughn Grissom do it early. But again, this is another team where I see if the White Sox are not good, Tim Anderson becoming a Brave halfway through the year.
I don't like that as
Uh,
much as I like Seattle.
huh?
I don't like that as much as I like the Seattle move.
Yeah, I like him in Seattle more. But this is like, or, the Orioles send over freaking Ramon Reyes to play shortstop for the Braves. There's options. This is a shortstop and third base heavy league now. Uh, you know, Teams that are not contending still have shortstops and third basemen. So if you're going to say, all right, we're going to put the shortstop job in the hands of a rookie in Atlanta, we'll let him prove that he got it or he don't.
Yeah,
I love this Atlanta team. And more importantly, there's a reason I said the Mets were the on paper champ. Until you prove it,
yeah,
I'm going to go with the team who keeps stealing it from you.
that's completely fair.
You know, that's just the way it kind of works out. Thanks for doing this with me, bud.
Of
This was a
course,
fun one.
this was a fun one. We got real creative, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I like it a lot. We'll get into some deep dives with some of our predictions for the season. We'll do some World
Predictions
Baseball
coming
Classic talk
soon.
soon.
I can't wait to talk World Classic. That's just been
Yes,
on my mind for the last like 3 weeks.
yes,
As like roster.
absolutely.
I'm so
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. It has been real. It has been nice, ladies and gentlemen. It has been really nice. Thanks again for doing this with us, and we'll chat soon.